Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe, helps me out. But let's get started. Back in March of 2025, I came back to the site as a contractor. I had that same Oakley backpack, same energy, just a different badge. I was a contractor this time instead of working directly for CPChem. The moment people saw me throw that backpack on and head to the field, someone said it. Superman is back. Now we'll get through anything INC related for this turnaround. I want to tell you how that reputation got built. Let me take you back to June 2018 when CPChem called and offered me a job in the SIS PLC Group, and I said yes. June 2018, I crossed over from Technip to CPChem as a direct employee. No more Technip logo, no more harness for 6 months straight, different chapter entirely. I walked into the SIS PLC Group, the team responsible for every safety system and PLC on that site. Triconics, Allen Bradley, Honeywell, Yokogawa, just to name a few. 2 polyethylene plants, 3 olefins units, an NGL unit, and a storage terminal. And a group of people I was about to spend 4 years building something real with. Let me put this into perspective. Our SIS PLC group was responsible for over 250 PLCs and 150 HMIs across the entire CPChem Sweeny complex. Again, it was 2 polyethylene plants, 3 olefins units, 1 NGL unit, and a storage terminal. If it had a safety system or a PLC on that site, it was ours. Every turnaround, every 3 a.m. call when a compressor wouldn't start, every capital project with a new SIS or PLC requirement, ours. Jenny was the boss when I arrived, and she was good at it. Competitive as hell. You didn't want to lose to her in fantasy football, I promise you that. But more than the competitive side, she was a genuine leader. No micromanagement, full support. She trusted her team to do the work and backed us up when it mattered. The thing that told me everything I needed to know about her character was when she called me personally before she told the rest of the group about her move to Pasadena. She knew I'd want to hear it first. That's the kind of leader she was. And in my opinion, she should already be in a corporate leadership role. The crew, this was the crew. Pat, Jason, Koole, Vince, Mohammad, Jimmy, and Tanner. 7 people around that table who each brought something nobody else had. Pat kept us fed and humble. Jason kept the night shift covered and never said no to anyone. Koole was the brain of the whole operation. Vince was the quiet one you had to watch. Mohammad raised the standard just by showing up. Jimmy was old school and always willing to work. And Tanner, the best young hire I ever made. Together there wasn't a system on that site we couldn't fix. Everyone in the company knew it. Pat. He was a former instrument tech and a damn good one. His health had gotten to the point where he couldn't go in the units anymore, so he ran the group from the office. But don't mistake that for slowing down. Pat kept us stocked up on any equipment and tools we needed, kept us fed, and kept us sharper than we had any right to be. He called me SA. People would hear it and think he was saying the Spanish slang term SA, but it was actually S.A. He meant suck ass. And somehow, coming from Pat, it was the funniest thing anyone ever called me on that site. Former tech, office legend, the heart of that group. Koole. If there was one person on that site who knew every system at a level nobody else could touch, it was Koole. Allen Bradley, all the RS Logics, Triconics, all the Tri-Station, he knew all of it. But the thing that set him apart from anyone I've ever worked with was that he could build things in Tricon Safety Validator that not even Schneider Electric could do. He built preventive maintenance test procedures, and no one on the Gulf Coast was doing that at that level. We had 250 PLCs across the complex, and he knew every single one of them. When he retires, that site's going to fill it in a way they're not ready for. Jason, we called him the doc because he always knew how to fix things. Didn't matter what the system was, didn't matter what time, he knew how to diagnose it and get it running. He worked nights consistently, and he never said no to anyone who needed help. The kind of guy who makes an entire team better just by being in it. And when he wasn't in the field, he was on the water fishing. And he was just as good at that as he was at our SIS PLC work. Some people are built for this life, and Jason was one of them. Vince, he was a reserved one. Always got his work done without making a sound. You could walk by his workstation and he'd be buried in Triconics Tri-Station programs or Allen Bradley RS Logics programs. He'd also have the loop drawings, the P&IDs, anything else document-wise that he needed. He'd be completely focused, zero drama. But here's the thing about Vince. The minute you weren't paying attention, the minute you said something that could be flipped on you, he'd catch it. And he'd deliver it so perfectly, so quietly, that by the time the whole room was gone, you were still trying to figure out what just happened. You never saw it coming. Mohammad was part of the group when I arrived. He was super talented. He was the kind of person who raised the standard just by showing up. Great to be around, always brought his best, and you could tell from day one that he was going places. He left in March of 2019 to become a project manager at BASF. That was a great career move for someone with his ability, and I was genuinely happy for him. But the group felt as absent. You always do when the talented ones move on. The daily rhythm of this group was different from anything I'd experienced before. Every morning started with a huddle. PMs due for the day, project work to tackle, anything coming out of operations, morning meetings that needed our support. Some days it was pure office work, programming, building HMI graphics, redlining drawings in Bluebeam. Other days a unit call would come in and you'd grab your tough book and tools, throw your backpack on and go. And then there was Pat's desk, unofficially the headquarters of the SIS PLC Group. He always had something that he brought for us to eat. He could make one mad brisket. He always had everything going, the constant and every day, no matter what else was happening. Jimmy came up with Pat and Koole at Shintech. He was old school, he knew his craft, always willing to help. One of the things I remember the most from working with Jimmy was when we had to pull new cables in the RIE from our Tricon cabinets to the DCS marshalling wall on a thermal oxidizer project. He helped me pull those cables, helped me dress out the wires, put the tags on, put the ferrules on, and land and terminate them. He also helped me add an additional redundant power supply to the cabinet in the field, and then he helped me do all the loop checks. He took pride in his work and he never cut corners. I pushed for his raises every chance I got because he deserved it. In October of 2019, Jenny went on maternity leave and I became the interim lead of the group. I ran the group through the period, and when she came back, she had earned a superintendent role at Pasadena. A well-deserved step up. She called me personally before she told the team, not because she had to, because she knew I'd want to hear it first. That's the kind of leader she was. And that phone call set the standard for the kind of lead I was going to try to be. January of 2020, the group was mine. And my first priority was making sure the people in that group were taken care of the right way. When I became the actual lead in January of 2020, the first real move I made was hiring Tanner. He'd been a Zachary contractor on site helping the group. His talent was obvious from the start. Always learning, always asking the right questions. He spent real time with every person on the team. Koole, Vince, Jason, Pat. Not to check a box, but to actually learn what they knew. He had the it factor. He wasn't making much as a contractor from Zachary, but that was a problem I could fix. I ended up hiring him direct and changed the money situation around. He's still killing it at that site, and it's one of the easiest calls I ever made as a lead to bring him on the team. In 2021, the U24 Turnaround took place. It was 56 days. It was one of our biggest technical undertakings as a group. We had to upgrade the Tricons with the new 3009 series processors, and we also had to update the chips and the I/O modules. On top of that, our turbine compressor oil flushes weren't going as expected. That put us in a position where we had to knock out multiple 16-hour days just to hold the schedule. Nobody in that group complained. Nobody asked to cut corners. Nobody suggested we skip a step. That was the standard, and everybody in that group lived it. Every unit, every turnaround, every extruder trip at the PE plants that we kept from killing a reactor and costing days of production, the network topology and graphic fixes on the loadout PLCs at the poly unit, the full thermal oxidizer Tricon CX program and HMI overhaul from capital projects, the unit 22, 24, 33 olefin units, safety system upgrades and replacement of Honeywell FSCs to Tricon CXs, all 250 plus PLCs, all 150 plus HMIs, and through all of it, every one of those units knew they could call us and we'd get it done. Everyone in the company knew it. Our SIS PLC Group was the standard. By 2022, I had been passed over for the maintenance superintendent role at the polyethylene unit. Not because I wasn't qualified, but because the company couldn't backfill me. They knew the PE units too well through me. Moving me into a superintendent role meant pulling me out of the field, and they couldn't afford to do that. I understood the business logic, but I also understood what it meant for my trajectory. Then my brother called. He was currently the VP of engineering at CAM, and he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. He made me an offer of well over $200,000 a year with straight time overtime, and he was also going to let me go to the field. I had to move on, I had to grow, so I couldn't stay stuck. The last week was the hardest part of leaving, not the paperwork, not the transition meetings, the people. The SIS PLC team, Roan, Rev, Kev, years of early morning, late night calls, units down, 16-hour days and turnarounds, problems nobody thought we could fix, all of it done with those people. Walking away from that felt like leaving a piece of myself behind on that site. Even the operations teams from all the units knew me very well. But you can't grow by staying where you're comfortable, so I grabbed the keys, put the backpack in the car, and drove away. I left before Unit 41 came back up from their turnaround. The INRU was giving the operations group hell. It was the same unit I had started up multiple times with late night calls throughout the past years. While that was happening, Roan sent me a photo and a group text. Someone had written on the side of the cabinet, "Y'all miss me yet, Cody Hall." Management thought I wrote it, but I want to be clear about something. I respected those people out there way too much to write something like that on the side of a panel. That inscription was written by someone who had worked with me in that unit. And before I could even process what I was looking at, Roan's reply underneath it said, "Yep, we do." And then a message from Jared, the same thread, said, "Cody, this is Jared. Are you open for a consulting gig on Saturday afternoon?" That's the one that got me. In October of 2022, I left CPChem, the site I helped build from the parking lot in Arc 5. The safety systems I helped keep running for 6 years. The people I'd go to war with every time a unit went down. They put my name on a cabinet. Rev Kev wrote me a letter. He said in 32 years in this industry, he had never seen or met anyone like me. He said that this next chapter was going to be rewarding, challenging, and financially prosperous, and that it would not be the last beers we'd ever drink. And when I came back in March of 2025 as a contractor, they said Superman was home. Y'all miss me yet? Built different. See you guys next week. Stay tuned and catch my new song that I wrote about the INRU panel writing.
Started back in 2014, drawings on my desk. Polyethylene dreams built to impress. 2 long years of staring at the computer screen. Drank more caffeine than a man ever seen. By 2016 I was out there, boots in the mud. My harness, gear, wires, and blood. Fired up the lines, pellets rained down. The loudest dang startup this side of town. Y'all miss me, yeah. My name's on the cabinet. Every bypass, every patch job y'all can't forget. From the extruder hum to the INRU set. When the lights don't turn green, y'all miss me, yeah. Came on with the big dogs, SIS PLC. By 2020, everybody leaned on me. Bypasses running monster in my hand, keeping that unit steady, still in demand. But I left in 22 to work with my twin at Cam, chasing dollars, starting again. Still the calls came through, our compressor won't start. So I rode on the INRU, y'all miss me, yeah. Y'all miss me, yeah. My name's on the cabinet. Every bypass, every patch job y'all can't forget. From the catalyst fire to the extruder sweat. When the unit don't run, y'all miss me, yeah. Not a hero, not a saint, just a man who knows how to bypass a loop when the process slows. From vendor PLCs to a startup stall. When the unit goes dead, they still call Cody home. Y'all miss me, yeah. It's burned in your brain. Every trip, every breaker, every bypass chain. From turnaround nights to the 3 a.m. set. Unit 41 whispers, y'all miss me, yeah. On the side of the INRU, written in sweat. Y'all miss me, yeah. Cody Hall, don't forget. Somebody grab me a scratcher, I feel lucky yet.